Hello everybody, I thought I'd try something a little different for this video. I'm going to talk about some John Lennon compilation albums that were put out featuring the best of John Lennon, or some kind of comprehensive collection of a representation of his music throughout the years. I was originally going to do just one on the Shaved Fish album from 1975. Then I realized, there's a lot of different changes that transpired as the decades went on with compilations, and it gets a little confusing. So why not just do a general video covering all of these, or as many as I can. So okay, let's start out with 1975, okay, when John was still alive. This is the only compilation that came out in his lifetime. It was the one called Shaved Fish that I mentioned. And I remember buying this. It might not have been brand new, maybe, I don't know if it was several months old. I was just a boy at the time, and this is one of the first albums that I remember buying as far as solo careers go of the Beatles. And this is not the original copy. I wish I had the original copy that I first had. This is a replacement copy. But at the time, this was very vital because this was a way of getting John's singles and songs that were not on his regular studio albums in his solo career. And Lennon put this together himself. In fact, in one of his last interviews, it might have been the Andy Peebles interview from 1980, December, he had said that he realized that if he doesn't put this album together himself, some of the work's just going to go, he said. Nobody gave a damn at the record companies. He couldn't even find the original master tape, supposedly, to some of these. He said he had to use dubs on some of these, actually, which is kind of hard to believe, and especially considering that these recordings were only like 4 or 5 years old, some of the ones he's discussing. I don't know why that would be so difficult to get the original recordings and masters. But this was really good to have at the time, and I've always liked this package. I mean, the best thing I can say about the Shaved Fish album is I like the title, Shaved Fish. I think it's better than saying, the best of, or greatest hits, or compilation, or something like that. I like Shaved Fish. That's a cool title. And all these pictures here in cartoons that kind of represent every one of the songs on here to one degree or another. And you got the back, kind of funny, Lennon brand Shaved Fish that I've always liked. So the title and the packaging these days is the best thing about this. Now I say it because what was really great 41 years ago isn't really essential anymore. I mean, it says Collectible Lennon on the original label there, the red label. Not really very vital anymore to have, because there have been better compilations that have come out. And before I get into the content of this one, you got the inner sleeve. It's got the lyrics on here. John was always very fond of including his lyrics, which is always a good thing. Got the flag. Of course, the album was presented on Apple Records. And I believe this was the last thing that John released before he went into the retirement phase of his career. It seemed like a long time until he came back in 1980. But the songs on this album are good representation at the time, as I keep saying. I mean, it was the only place to get a song like Cold Turkey and Instant Karma, Power to the People. Those were 3 singles that were thankfully included on this. But let's go through the whole thing. It starts out with a small snippet of the song Give Peace a Chance, just to whet your appetite. Now, I'll be honest with you, Give Peace a Chance, even though I'm a John Lennon fan, has never been one of my favorite songs by him. Well, mainly because it just goes on and on and on forever, and it's just repetitious for way too long. It gets boring to me after a while. I guess in a way, it's interesting that we only have a little snippet on here that only goes for like a minute or less. I don't know if it's even a minute, maybe 45 seconds, something like that. It goes a little bit of Give Peace a Chance right into Cold Turkey. But for people who are completists and who want to have the song, this is not a good way to get it. You're kind of missing Give Peace a Chance. I say it's all right with me, but in a way. But as far as being officially, you need the song if you want to have all his music. So that really didn't do us any favors by having just a taste of it. And Cold Turkey was always a welcome inclusion you know, as I say. You needed that. It was just a 45 before this. And then you had Instant Karma, which is one of his all-time best singles. You know, I wasn't really gonna rate these, but I think I may. I'm going to start with Cold Turkey. You know, I rate these things now on a 4-star scale, 1 being poor, 4 being excellent, 3 being good, and 2 being fair. So I give Cold Turkey a rating of 3.5 out of 4. And the only reason I shave off a half of Cold Turkey is simply because I think the ending with all the screaming goes on a little bit too much. I understand why it's included as part of the song, which deals with heroin withdrawal, but it's not very pleasant. So 3.5 out of 4. Instant Karma, a 4 out of 4. Classic Lennon song, one of his best ever. Great, you know, chorus, chant, refrain, just really good. So I give that 4 out of 4. Power to the People, I also give 4 out of 4. Power to the People, another 45 that you really can't get anywhere else. Then after that we have a track from his first debut studio album, Plastic Ono Band. It's the song Mother, and it's welcome on this album. It's kind of like a highlight from an album. I'm not going to rate Mother because I kind of rate that on its I'll rate that on the John Lennon solo album. And then we close side 1 with the song that I have to be politically correct with here. The title is Woman is the N-Word, Woman is the N of the World. And I always loved that song. I just think it's a really good feminist song. It's pro-woman, and it's kind of deploring the attitude against women. But here's the first or second, I guess now, after Give Peace a Chance problem that I have with this album is that the version of that song, Woman is the End of the World, is unfortunately cut short. There's a verse missing. I don't know if it was for time constraints. I don't know if it's the single edit. Somebody said it was a single edit. I can't recall off the top of my head if the single of that song also omitted a certain verse. And it seems like the verse that was omitted wasn't because of anything controversial or anything like that. It just seems to be for time. And it's unfortunate that the full version isn't utilized here. So that's the 2 reasons on side 1 what kind of hinder this album by today's standards. First, that Give Peace a Chance is only a 45-second, 1 minute or less snippet. And the fact that Woman is the blank of the world is missing a verse. So that's not really necessary, this album, for that reason. Side 2, we start off with Imagine, the song, classic Lennon song, you know. Whatever Gets You Through the Night is second from the Walls and Bridges album, his only #1 single while he was alive. Mind Games, the song. Number 9, Dream, nice song from Walls and Bridges. And they conclude this album with the Happy Christmas single, which I'll rate the Happy Christmas single 4 out of 4 stars. You know, what I'm doing basically here is rating the singles that are not on albums, because, you know, I wouldn't get to them otherwise on my regular album reviews. So the only thing bizarre, at the end of the Happy Christmas single, John chose to add a little bit of a sound from the one-to-one concert at Madison Square Garden, where they'd sing very poorly Give Peace a Chance, very creepy. And I think it's kind of just a creepy way to attach that to the end of the album, kind of as a refrain or reprise of the opening snippet, Give Peace a Chance. So anyway, this particular album, the way I can summarize it is that, you know, it really was essential back in 1975 to 76, early 70s. By today's standards, you really don't need this unless you just want to be a completist collector and just have the really cool packaging, the artwork, to have all John's albums. And it's noteworthy because he put it together when he was alive, which is interesting. But other than that, Shaved Fish doesn't really serve a purpose anymore in this day and age. Now, I know I'm going to get the years wrong on some of these releases. The next thing we had, this one I know is right, 1982. It was supposed to come out in 1981, but it was delayed. It was a posthumous release. This one, the John Lennon Collection, which in some ways is superior to the Shaved Fish album. Now, while I think it's kind of superior, there's also some problems with it, in my opinion. It just may be completely a matter of being subjective, what people think is important or a mistake or not. We'll start out with the artwork. The front picture and the back picture were taken by photographer Annie Leibovitz, actually the day John was murdered. This is the morning of December the 8th, 1980. He had just gotten a new haircut. The inside shows a nice picture, which is now kind of a familiar and famous picture of John. We have the lyrics here again. The record, it was a Geffen Records release, so you have the same label as the Double Fantasy album on Geffen. I always thought this was a quality record label for the most part. Now we start out on this particular version. We have Give Peace a Chance, the full version. So this time you get the full version of Give Peace a Chance. Then we have Instant Karma again. And by the way, the song Give Peace a Chance, how would I rate it? I'm only going to rate Give Peace a Chance as a song 2.5 out of 4. That's another stray single. And I'm just not big on the song. You know, the slogan is worth a 3. The song is just repetitious chatter over and over. Instant Karma second, Power to the People, followed by Whatever Gets You Through the Night, followed by Number 9 Dream, followed by Mind Games. And this time they put on a song from the first album the Plastic Ono Band released, the song Love, simply titled, which actually is a nice song, a nice welcome addition to here. And I believe they cut out the introduction, but which was really not bad, or at least when I say cut out, they might have, haven't heard it in a while, made it louder, because the way the original album had it was the beginning of Love kind of fades up quietly. And I think maybe for radio purposes they wanted to just start out making it loud. You hear the music, the piano, just slowly creep up and get louder and louder. Now they made it so that it just starts right off the bat. At least the 45 was. I know there was a 45 put out of the song Love, and I know that they did that on the 45. I haven't heard the album in a long time. I'm assuming the album was the same. Then we go to the classic Imagine song, and this time they decided to put Jealous Guy on here from the Imagine album, which is, it wasn't a hit single or anything, but by this time it really kind of defined John, and it's part of his career, one of his more popular tracks. So Jealous Guy is welcome on this album. But now we start getting into the Double Fantasy material, because this goes up more currently. Now the only thing wrong, in my opinion, was they put too many songs on here from Double Fantasy. I didn't think it was necessary. You basically have all John's tracks on here, except for, I think, Cleanup Time is missing. But you've got Just Like Starting Over, which belongs on here, the hit single. Then you've got the song Woman, which is a popular track and one of his best from Double Fantasy. Then you've got I'm Losing You, which I don't really think fits this album. I don't think there was any reason to put I'm Losing You on here, to tell you the truth. And it doesn't really fit without Yoko's segue, I'm Moving On, which is her response to I'm Losing You, which is not on here. Yoko's not featured. So you don't need I'm Losing You. And you have Beautiful Boy on here, which is one of John's most beloved songs these days. That belongs on here. And now we go to Dear Yoko. Again, it's just an album filler, really, from the Double Fantasy album. So you don't need that on here. And you have Watching the Wheels, which is kind of now, again, a popular track. So basically what I'm saying is they wasted a lot of space on this vinyl album by putting on almost all John's tracks from Double Fantasy, save Cleanup Time, the only one missing. But I think they only needed Just Like Starting Over, Woman, Beautiful Boy, and Watching the Wheels. They could have kept off I'm Losing You and Dear Yoko. They're just not as necessary. But an interesting sideline to this is, after this album came out, and several years later when compact discs became popular, the CD came out. And the CD added some tracks on here, which I think really benefited the collection. If I was going to recommend this album, which I think is better than Shaved Fish, I would recommend the CD, because on the CD, you, let's see what you get here. You get the Happy Christmas, War Is Over single on here, which was not on the vinyl. And you also get the song Stand By Me, John's version from the Rock and Roll album, his cover, which was not on here. And you also get the song Cold Turkey, which is not on here. You got 19 tracks here. And as a real bonus, you get a B-side of Stand By Me called Move Over Ms. L, which is a really fun rocker from John. And for a long time, that was the only place you could really conveniently get that song on an easy-to-find compilation. You know, just plop it on here from the CD. Otherwise, you got to put the old 45 on. So the addition of Move Over Ms. L and Cold Turkey and Happy Christmas makes this the superior of these two. Yeah, it gets really confusing. Then it gets even more crazy. I was saying earlier that I'm not sure what the dates are. I think the date of this next release is 1997. And we have another compilation. And this one I was fortunate to get on a vinyl album. Lennon Legend. And up to this point, this is the superior, in my opinion, way to get these tracks. If you have to go for one of these, I would have said at this time, go for this one. This is still one of the superior collections. The Lennon Legend album, the vinyl is hard to find, and it says it's a limited edition vinyl release, by the way. Has a nice gatefold photos. And a lot of tracks here spread over 4 sides. I don't have the compact disc. I'm sure the compact disc, at least I don't think I do. I might have it. I think of it. I don't even know what I have sometimes. But I'm just going to read fast the tracks that are on here. Side 1, Imagine, Instant Karma, Mother, Jealous Guy, Power to the People. Side 2, Cold Turkey, Love, Mind Games, Whatever Gets You Through the Night, and Number 9, Dream. Side 3, Stand By Me, Just Like Starting Over, A Woman, Beautiful Boy, and Watching the Wheels. And I like the way they just relegated Double Fantasy to those most popular tracks. Then we got side 4. Now we get into the Milk and Honey album, which is up to this point has not been featured because Milk and Honey hadn't come out yet when this was released. So now we get some songs from Milk and Honey. We got Nobody Told Me. We got Borrowed Time. And we get Working Class Hero, the popular song now. It's gained a lot of popularity and ground. Working Class Hero, one of John's signature songs, if you will, from the John Lennon Plastic Ono Band debut solo album. And you got Happy Christmas, War Is Over, and you've got Give Peace a Chance, the full version. So this is really, at this point, now we're up to the 90s, this was much preferred to the other two that I showed. Now, the way I'm going to close this off is an album that I don't have. And the only way I'm going to be able to do this is by showing you a picture on the computer screen as I just take this over here. This is an album called Working Class Hero. Working Class Hero, the definitive Lennon. Can't really see it because I got it kind of stuck here with the play button. This album has 38 tracks on it, and it is much more superior to anything that came out. And let me also say, now I say that it's superior. I don't own it. So I'm only saying that it's superior based on the tracks that I know are on it. We have Just Like Starting Over, Imagine, Watching the Wheels, Jealous Guy, Instant Karma, Stand By Me, Working Class Hero, Power to the People, Oh My Love from the Imagine album, Oh Yoko from the Imagine album, Nobody Loves You When You're Down and Out from Walls and Bridges, Nobody Told Me, Bless You from Walls and Bridges, Come Together, I think Come Together, it's live in New York City version, which is cool. It's the only, in my opinion, real worthy live track from that Live in New York City album, Come Together. So you get New York City, Great Rocker from the album Sometime in New York City. Then you get I'm Stepping Out from, which we missed in the last collection, from Milk and Honey. You Are Here from the Mind Games album. Borrowed Time. Happy Christmas, War Is Over. That's all on disc 1, and this is the CD we're talking about. You get 19 tracks. Then on disc 2 of the CD, you get Woman. Starts out with Woman. You get Mind Games, Out the Blue. Out the Blue being a track from the Mind Games album. Whatever Gets You Through the Night. Love. Mother. Beautiful Boy. Woman Is the End of the World, which again is the first time since 1975 that gets out on a compilation again. You have the song God, which makes its debut. That's a great song from the John Lennon Plastic Ono Band album, and that makes its debut on a Lennon Hits compilation, or comprehensive analysis of his career collection. The song Scared is thrown on here from Walls and Bridges. You got Number 9 Dream. You got I'm Losing You. You've got Isolation from the Plastic Ono Band album. Cold Turkey. We have Intuition, a song from Mind Games. We have Gimme Some Truth, a strong political track from the Imagine album. Give Peace a Chance Again. And this time they put on the song Real Love. Now, Real Love is not the Beatles version, or the Threedles version, as they call it, as they did for Anthology. It's the John Lennon one. It gets confusing. Real Love was the John Lennon solo one that he did. And lastly, they put on here the song Grow Old With Me, which is a favorite track of people's from the Milk and Honey album. So there's, like I say, there's 38 tracks on here, 19 songs aside, only on CD as far as I know. And I would say that this last one here, the Working Class Hero, the Definitive Lennon, is probably the best of all of these if you want to get an overview. The only thing I said at the top was I'm not sure of the quality because I don't own it. I've heard mixed signals about that. Some people say that some of the mixes on here are different. Some of them, somebody said the drums are missing from Whatever Gets You Through the Night. I don't know. Somebody out there might let me know if these are good mixes or bad mixes or what. But as far as actual content and a complete overview of his career, looks like the way to go is Working Class Hero, the Definitive Lennon. So each one of these releases kind of gets better and more comprehensive as it goes along. There are other releases too. One of them is John Lennon Icon, which is pretty new. You don't need that because it's very short. There's not many tracks on it. There's that one, I think it's called Power to the People, the John Lennon Hits or something like that I don't have. That again is not as comprehensive as some of these. I'm going to end here. Now, again, I made my best stab at this video. I'm realizing it's all convoluted and all over the place. Just let me know how you feel about it. Let me know if it helped at all, if it was fun, if it was a pain in the ass, whatever it was. I was in the mood to talk about shaved fish, and I wound up going into John's whole collection of compilation albums. We don't need any more. We're good. Thanks, everybody.